Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your October horoscopes. So, September handed you a pile of responsibilities, but October is going to hand you the same pile, but it's going to give you a motivational speech or inner empowerment. You are really looking for a month ahead. So, let's get started with October 6th. So, Mercury is going to enter into your 11th house of your long term goals and even your long-term dreams and friendships. So you're going to expect more conversations with friends, with groups, and you can have like you can be like brainstorming these new projects. You can be working with others. You can be revisiting old visions that you've had with other people, or that you've had about your goals or your long-term visions, and maybe with a more fresh and deeper insight. And it's going to start to be deeper, more transformative dialogue that you're having with other people. And these are people that support your growth. And also, hidden truths can come to the surface. So pay attention who really is aligning with your future. And on October 7th, you're going to have a full moon in your fourth house in Aries, and a full moon in its home house, right? There is definitely a climax that's being reached here when it comes to carrying the weight of your past, your family line, and you are making a major decision about your living situation, your family dynamic, and things in the home really take a shift. And the energy here is about balancing your private life with your public ambitions, your inner authority. As I said, this is a reminder, like this month, that you cannot build a career or a future without tending to your inner and most private and personal foundations. On October 13th, Venus is going to enter into your 10th house of um your public. This is your house. This is where you're public. This is your professional life. This is your life path. And Venus in the 10th house brings a charm, a magnetic energy to you and your life path. This is a beautiful period for like recognition, for praise, for opportunity, through connections, through authority figures, and even bosses and clients. They look up to you more favorably. And they also you can also have an advancement when it comes to like learning to make things more graceful and more fair, and even learning, leaning into like diplomacy. And for some Capricorn risings, this can be a moment of career realignment, finding more beauty and harmony and balance in the path that you are building. On October 14th, Pluto is going to go direct in your second house of Aquarius. So Capricorn, truly, in like these long years, for over a decade, you're gonna be finding out how you can increase your finances, your self-worth with these unconventional ideas or these unconventional ways, and getting out of survival mode. You may be one of the ones that create finances, or different type of exchanges or personal or material growth, just by being who you are. You're basically trying to become a master of resources, of cash, of monies. And the second house, this is a major like turning point when it comes to you valuing yourself and how you handle your finances. So you're going to be pushed to release old survival tactics or patterns around money, and start stepping into a more empowered and self-reliant resource. There's, like I said, there's going to be a sense of mastery that comes over this next couple of years. But if you have been, well, not couple, well, it could be couple, right? This is a long transit, and it depends on the degrees and all that stuff. But if you have been dealing with, financial power struggles or insecurities, this is the mark of a new beginning, of a more forward momentum. Uh, like like reclaiming your financial strength or your financial intelligence. On October 20th, Mercury is going to conjunct Mars and Scorpio in your natal 11th house. And so, Mars and Scorpio, meaning in through your 11th house of friendships, you can expect very fiery conversations, collaborations. You feel the need to really speak your truth, even if it's ruffling feathers. And while communication can feel very like on the uprise, like you're just talking and you're having a lot of different conversations with people. This is bringing you the drive to assert your ideas and take action on long-term goals, and just be mindful of any type of impulsive words or conflicts or communication imbalances. Like your energy is best is best channeled or translated into movements that you're passionate about and projects that you're passionate about, and like taking yourself forward in some type of way. There on October 21, excuse me, new there's going to be a new moon in your 10th house of Libra, and of course this brings a fresh start to your public image, your reputation, and this is a powerful lunation that can help you set goals around what you want to grow in professionally. And are you aligning with your true calling, Capricorn? Do you want to shift your direction in life? This lunation can really bring these new opportunities, leadership roles, or visibility into the world, and it's a perfect time for you to reset your long term ambitions. On October 22nd, Neptune is going to be um, leaving Aries, going back into Pisces. So it's retrograding in your fourth house, right? And of this, Neptune in the third house, it talks about weaving like illusions and even certain illusions, but even certain things that we tell ourselves or like we say to ourselves on a daily basis. Like you can finally see that maybe family or things you've been talking about or home situations, like they bring more clarity. Like the veil is really thin where you can see past it. Like you've learned a lot of lessons and you learn a lot about yourself and how your mind works with Neptune and Pisces. And here is presenting you with something that you cannot deny. And if you've been not denying something about your private life, about how you think, this is where reality is really going to like step in. And the clarity is trying to bring you a release. This is allowing you to build like healthier and more grounded foundations moving forward in the mind and even within your home as well. So on October 23rd, the sun is going to enter into your 11th house of Scorpio. And this is about community, your greater vision or higher vision for the world. And also friendships. This is a season where you're connecting with like minded people who share your ideas and networking, and you are collaborating with others. There's even if you're working in groups, it feels more energized, and you may notice who really uplifts you or who drains your energy. You can have awareness here that helps you strengthen your let's say like your community ties, if that makes sense. So on October 23rd as well, Mercury is going to conjunct Lilith in Scorpio in your 11th house. This is a powerful and potent day when it comes to truth telling in your friendships and even in certain networking, right? Lilith represents the voice that has been silenced. Excuse me. I'm like always tired. But anyway, when it comes to Mercury and Lilith in this conjunction, you are confronting hidden dynamics that have to do with goals, and it has to do with like your social circles. This can feel very liberating, but can also stir, conflict with certain people. And I think that the key here is honesty, and that this is an aspect that can allow you to speak your truth, your vision, even if it challenges the status quo. And also, a couple days later, on October 26th, Mercury is going to conjunct Lilith in your 11th house again in Scorpio. Very explosive. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. And so there is this fueled action, and Lilith wants this raw authenticity and to really speak beyond being held up in boxes. It doesn't want to be silenced, is the best way. And I feel like together they can trigger clashes in group settings, or they can push you to take these bold and unauthentic and unapologetic, steps towards like long-term goals, and without needing an approval of anything. But 11th house, we're supposed to be working with others, and this can, stir tension between friends and allies. It's also the fuel that you need to assert your own independence and power, even in collective spaces. So on October 29th, Mercury is going to enter into your 12th house of Sagittarius. And so here is where your energy shifts inward. And after weeks of socializing with other people, and even having some type of public activity, your mind seeks quietness. And this is a time to reflect and rest and integrate certain things that you've experienced and learn about others. And pay attention to your dreams and your inner voice. They hold valuable insight for what is next for you, Capricorn. And while this can be like less vocal, the words that you do share can definitely carry wisdom now, even in private matters. October is a month of career breakthroughs, of financial, like transformation, even these community shifts. This is a perfect month to own your power in the public, and also to align with the right type of allies and trust your worth and the foundations that can, these foundations that can lead to long-term success. So really, October is a month of many different things, but ultimately, as I said, this is the month where you really have to focus on how your living situation and that type of like familiar dynamic can be affecting where you're trying to grow, where you're trying to actually lead yourself. And sometimes you have to tend to what's going on at home and what's going on around you, or the thing that you have learned, even certain traumas that you have picked up on, in order to really move yourself forward. So definitely pay attention to who aligns with your future, Capricorn. I think this was the shortest one. It was pretty sweet and straight to the point, Capricorn. I don't think that you have a very like ice cold month, because of course, September was like yuck. And even when I'm making this like video, is just so many things that have happened to me during the eclipse season that I really, I did this video as quickly as I can, but it was just so much stuff going on that like my mind is completely blown. But for you, Capricorn, definitely stay grounded. Definitely, spend time with yourself, your most private and inner self. Any type of authority figures and bosses and people that you may look up to, definitely understand that they're looking up to you much more this month as well. And if you're being recognized for things that, you have accomplished, that is very much a good thing. You should have a lot of confidence, and be very graceful with yourself this next coming month. So yes, that's all I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that was helpful. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, please, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, Capricorn.